Hello and welcome to the Blansko Klobasa podcast with your host, me, Craggy.
And me, Ralph.
And today we have a special podcast. We are live on location on the train to Svitavy.
First class, I hasten to add.
Yeah, first class, of course. We didn't have time to record a proper or usual podcast. We will have much more coming for you after Christmas. And we are here again with Stevie Bruno.
Hello, everybody.
Good to have you here, Stevie.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for today then? I mean, this is an annual thing, isn't it?
This is our annual Christmas party. What's the first stop?
First up is Svitavy, which we've been to before when we were looking for the home of Oskar Schindler.
When we got lost in a forest.
We got lost in a forest. Yeah, we got lost in a forest.
We never found it.
No, and then we go to Litomyšl, which is I call it Litomyšl.
Litomyšl.
It's a lovely little place. Beautiful, beautiful town. The wonderful castle, good brewery, and some lovely architecture.
Nice chance for a quick coffee in the morning because it is only 9:15 at the moment.
I would actually say it's my favourite cafe outside of Brno, Cafe Michel.
It's a good cafe.
It's got a good reputation. And then we end up where?
In Polička.
Oh, we're going to Polička. Ah.
Okay, so we're on location in Svitavy. There is a thin layer of snow on the ground.
There is a thin layer of snow. Steve, you've almost gone over.
Yeah, I've put my Adidas Gazelles on.
Not appropriate footwear.
Unwisely, it seems.
I have to say that I'm a big fan of Gazelles. Probably not in this current situation, but I'm a big fan of Gazelles. It is a little bit icy out there and a little bit cold, but we're currently at the home of Oskar Schindler.
Yeah, whose house we did try to find how many years ago?
It was probably about 10 years ago, mate.
And we still haven't found it.
But I want to talk about a story because my mate, Radek, who's a big drinker and tends to spend a lot of time in Blahovka, he went on a pub crawl of train station pubs, like all over the Czech Republic, I think as far as Hranice, and they came to Svitavy for a beer. But it was at the time during the floods. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what floods are.
I know what they are.
I want to know what floods are. And I think he had to call it a day, probably at Svitavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else about Svitavy?
Well, it is the home of Czech Esperanto.
Ah, do you speak any Esperanto, Stevie?
No.
Yeah, the Czech Esperanto Museum is.
Actually, have you heard that they've got like an international Slavonic language? Have you heard about that?
I did hear something about it, but remind me.
So basically, it's a language so that anybody who speaks the Slavonic language, because if you go to an art gallery, say in Bilbao, they'll have the opportunity to have a guide in English, guide in Spanish, in German, but not in, say, Czech or Polish. So somebody came up with the idea, a mathematician and a linguist, of creating like a international Slavonic language.
Uh-huh. Have you ever seen it used anywhere?
No, but I did read a great article about it. So, for example, I don't know, if the word bread, which is chleb, but in, say, Russian it's chleb, in Ukrainian it's probably chleb too, yeah? So they kind of like take the majority from each language. So, for example, if chleb is in 6 languages, pivo probably.
Okay, we're now on the bus, winding our way around to Ostry-Carmen. Steve, there's a bit of a story with Ostry-Carmen, isn't there?
Ostry-Carmen, yeah. I actually thought that it means spicy stone. Yeah, because Ostry is spicy. Which is
true, it is a direct translation, that is correct. Yeah, direct
translation. It obviously caused a lot of hilarity with Ralph and Craigie, but...
so what else does Ostry mean, if not spicy?
It means sharp.
Sharp, so it's actually Sharp, the little town of Sharp Stone. Spicy Stone we like, don't we?
We prefer Spicy Stone now, which is the name of our WhatsApp group.
It's because of that, yeah, and we're just coming into it now. I've got to say, I'm a bit surprised. There's a full bus today.
Yeah, full bus.
I mean, probably for the listeners, we have to say that this is our probably our 4th year now of doing this annual trip Christmas party, the Blansko Klobasa Christmas party. Yeah. Minus Wingy.
Did he ever come to any of them?
I don't think he did, actually. No,
he didn't.
So this is it, guys. I think we are now heading into the Spicy Stone.
Papa was a Spicy Stone, Steve.
Papa was a Spicy Stone.
Hit it.
It's a beautiful part of the world, though, isn't it? I have to say.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway.
Especially now with the snow.
next stop will be in a cafe, being hipster. Craggy Glide, taking a photo of the Litomyšl cinema for about the 15th time. Steve, what do you think of this piece of architecture?
It's quite brutalist, but they've got a lovely Kino sign. It's made up of 4 circles with black type.
Do you like it? Do you like a little bit of signage?
I'm a big fan of a little bit of signage. Yep.
Okay.
Looking forward to, seeing some more.
What has been your favourite sign of this year?
Oh, that's hard to say. I'd have to come back to you on that one.
Okay. Ciao.
Oh, it says sock halter.
There's some space. What do you want, Stevie?
Black one.
Dobrý den. Tak já bych si dal flat white sebou. Tak si dám cappuccino. Cappuccino a Stevie?
A tam lungo bez mleka. Díky.
A já platím dohromady.
Yeah, we're in Litomyšl now, looking at the Hotel Zlata Fiesta. Beautiful building, quite
Václav
interesting.
Havel once stayed in that, actually, and me too, actually.
At the same time?
But mine was not a great experience. I had a great view, but there was a couple above me having very loud sex. Like really, really loud sex. It kept waking me up. It was worse than your snoring, Steve. Well, not worse. I mean, different kind
Sounded
of noise.
better.
Different kind of noise, yeah.
We went there for a garlic soup once, I remember. The first time I ever came to Litomyšl.
Probably the coldest time we've spent here. I think it was like -7, -8.
Yeah,
it
that
really
was a cold day.
It was just from pub to pub, which is basically what we do anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're outside Cafe Michel,
Yeah, nice. I've got a cappuccino. Steve, you went for a lungo.
and I've got a flat white, and it's definitely one of the premium hipster cafes in the Czech Republic.
Very hipster, very nice here under the arches.
Lovely staff, lovely staff.
So where are we off to now?
Well, I would definitely say we need to walk around the square, because the square is beautiful. We'll post some photos as well. Head towards the castle, which I think is where Bedřich Smetana was born, and hosts the Bedřich Smetana Festival.
Yeah, we're
Festival
in
of Music.
musical city.
That's
town.
right, yeah. But you know what else I found out it was famous for? I can't remember the name of the author. I think her name was Magdalena Rytikova, and she wrote the first cookbook in Czech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's from here, but I don't know quite where. Well, hopefully she'll be, well, no, she's dead. But maybe her great granddaughter or grandson is the chef.
Chef at the brewery pub that we're going to.
That's what we hope. Anyway. That's what we hope.
Okay.
So yeah, just to pop up there, I think, take some photos, grab a couple of beers, maybe a good soup, and
Super.
yeah, and that would be super, eh? Stevie, anything to add?
I'll be having more than the soup, I can tell you that, for lunch.
I don't know what that means, but
Oh, I'm not grabbing a soup, I'm grabbing a goulash.
looking forward to it.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
You've already had a sweet craggy, I see.
Yeah, sorry to jump the gun a bit there.
And Steve's got a mineral.
How do you feel coming back to Litomyšl again? Same tradition.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those you've got your supers here already. Your bon appetit, mate.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Joe, I love it. The town is so pretty.
Yeah,
I wish
it
it was maybe because it's what is it? It takes us 2 hours to get here, really.
Yeah.
So if it was like an hour from Brno, I think I'd be here more often.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. It's a very pretty place.
It is, yeah.
And they haven't gone overboard with the Christmas stuff, which I quite like. It's very tasteful.
Yeah, it's not full of Christmas markets, but you can get your svažák and stuff there. It feels nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, probably the burning question is, crikey, could you live it?
You know what? I think I could. I know it's, like you say, it's a bit of a distance, a bit of a trek from Brno, isn't it? But I think I could live it. It's just very pretty.
Do you think you'd be able to find enough work?
That's the big question, isn't it? I reckon if you're focusing solely on English teaching, I think you would be, most places you'd be able to find enough work somehow, don't you?
You could always work online, couldn't you?
Yeah, there's that as well.
Hey Steve, on the podcast you did with Steve Chalk and Phil, you mentioned that possibly in the future you could move to Ostrava. Is that a realistic aim, do you think?
That's an option, isn't it, if Brno gets too expensive? And I think that's remember, you've not just got the city of Ostrava, you've got all those other towns, yeah? There's a whole conurbation.
I heard that they're building a tram line from Karlovina to Ostrava.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's great. That's great. So I think that, Ostrava will already becoming a popular place to live.
Yeah, it is.
And not the prettiest place, but it's got a lot of soul.
I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
I think it's underrated. And if you look at Paruba and you look at the centre of Ostrava, it's changed a lot. I think it just got a bit bad rap in the guidebooks in the 90s, and it's kind of stuck with a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you mention Ostrava to people, what do they say? They always say industrial.
They dismiss it, but that works in our favour because if you want to move to Ostrava, not that many people do.
No.
And I think it's a really interesting part of the country. I mean, we've got so many places to go. I actually might move there.
It gets mixed reactions from Czechs, doesn't it, when you ask Czechs about Ostrava? But some people say it's great, and some people are not so sure.
When my student yesterday asked me, if I didn't live in Brno, we were doing second commission, if I didn't live in Brno, where would I live? And I said, of course, I mentioned Olomouc, because I think Olomouc is a very livable city, and Český Těšín, of course, because of my history with the town, I suppose.
History and obsession.
It is an obsession, isn't it? Yeah, so... But Litomyšl, I don't know, it's big enough. It's only 10,000. There's only a population of 10,000.
Is that it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I would live here. I don't think that there's really enough here for me, but it's a great place to visit.
Yeah, it is a great place.
Olomouc I'd live in. Olomouc would be really nice.
But it's a city.
Really nice place. Yeah, it's a city.
But here you're close to Polička as well. Yeah, not far away.
Are we recording this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Recording everything here, Steve. Yeah.
It's quite interesting that Polička was one of those places, and I still love going there, and I love the fact that we do this every year, and we end up in the medieval bar, but we're currently in the Vesela or Veselka.
Veselka, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm drinking a 12 degree.
I've got an 11.
And it's bloody lovely.
Yeah, this is good beer.
To say. And you know that the guy that works there, or the owner of the place, he really loves his beer. So he really cares about it. Of course, it's named, you've got the Bedřichova Jedenáctka, and I've probably got the Bedřichova Dvanáctka, so it's named after Mr. Smetana, who wrote, what did he write? Marvelast? Marvelast, which is what, My Fatherland or something like that, is it?
I think so.
Yeah, what a wonderful piece of music. It's kind of like an earlier version of the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, very much so. Of course, this restaurant has a history with Ralph, because this is where Ralph ordered goulash and chips together.
Well, the thing is, it was a goulash soup, wasn't it? And I just fancy, when you fancy some chips, and on the odd occasion, fancy fries. I fancied some fries.
Exactly.
So I went for the goulash, and okay, everybody was staring. It is a little bit embarrassing when you order a goulash polivka and then dump a load of chips in there.
But this wasn't the first time that you've left a waitress discombobulated, is it?
When was the last time?
When was it in Košice when you ordered the klobasa and chips?
But there was a side order of chips, wasn't there?
Yeah. And she saw you piling the chips onto the plate with the klobasa and a bit confused.
But that shouldn't be confusing.
What, sausage and chips?
Yeah, exactly. It's fairly normal, isn't it? Košice, if you're breaking some sort of social law in Košice.
Because a traditional klobasa is served with bread and mustard horseradish. You know, like that's basically it. And nobody really has sausage and chips here.
They don't. Seem to be very strict rules governing what you can have chips with and what you can't have chips with.
Really. So I mean, is there anything wrong with having goulash and chips?
There's nothing wrong with having anything you want, but I suppose it does. It's a slightly weird deviation from the usual goulash and kneadle.
But Steve, being a northerner, do you like chips and gravy?
I can eat them. But
I think you're a mushy peas boy.
No, I just have with lots of salt and vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Fish and chips. Delicious.
Anyway, here comes our food.
Amerika nebyla v životě ve válce, jenom v celém protivu. Ta vezla.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Back in Polička.
Back in Polička.
And in the motorcycle bar. Cheers, Stevie. First beer of the day.
Cheers, guys.
In the motorcycle bar, where the first time I ever came to Polička was with you, Ralph. And how much was the beer then?
I would say it was 15 crowns, and it wasn't too long ago.
No.
It was, what was it, 10 years ago maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
15 crowns for a beer.
15
now
crowns.
It's 28.
Yeah, which is still not bad, for a
Not bad
Polička.
at all. 28, because what's the price for beer in Brno at the moment? Minimum 50.
Yeah, 50 is, you're lucky sometimes if you get one for 50.
Steve, what do you make of the motorbikes?
I think there's a selection of vintage motorbikes here, isn't there?
Yeah? Do you have a motorcycle?
Hanging on the wall, yeah, Steve, yeah. The old Stadion bikes, so, we've come in this bar, we came in this bar and we celebrated Jeremy Corbyn becoming leader of the Labour Party.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
We also saw somebody trying to sell a painting of Lenin to a Ukrainian worker, which was like obviously before the war. And we've just enjoyed it. I can't remember a time where I haven't enjoyed being in Polička.
No, and we come to this pub every year.
Right, we'll be here for one, and I think we'll go and wander around the old town. Polička is famous for what?
Beer.
Yeah, the brewery.
The brewery.
Tower.
And the tower. Who was born?
Lived in the tower.
Bohuslav Martin, who was another famous composer. So it seems like the area, and he lived there. He lived there with his family, didn't he? Yeah. Steve, would you say that you kind of like you enjoy it here as well?
I'm a massive fan of Polička. I always enjoy my trips here. Yeah, in the freezing cold and the biting wind, but that's part of the thing. Yeah.
No sarcasm in that, no?
No, absolutely true. Might be a touch of sarcasm.
There might be a touch of sarcasm.
But I do, it's an experience, isn't it? It's not a massive tourist city, it's something a bit different.
It is something a bit different, but it's close to our hearts.
Yeah, I think probably, Craigie, I think that's basically what Steve's trying to say in a long-winded way. I think he's trying to say, I'm coming here just because of you two.
So we're on the train back to Brno now. 30-minute delay on České dráhy from Polička.
But we've got a lovely gin and tonic. What have you gone for? I've gone for the gin and tonic with blueberry, I think.
Yeah, I've gone for a classic Beefeater gin and tonic. What you got, Steve?
I've got a classic Beefeater too.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. A bit cheaper than the one you paid for in the pub.
Yeah, but we found out, and I think we can say this.
I think we can safely say it.
In a pub in Polička, offering 3 types of gin and tonic, of which I partook of one. 115 crowns each. So
for a standard G&T.
Expecting quality. I think we realised, didn't we, that they were selling the cans from Billa.
Yeah, the cans we've got now.
The blueberry, the pink gin, and the Beefeater.
Yeah.
We've got a can of each. So
Unless I'm
been had?
unless I'm sorely mistaken, and you can buy a blueberry G&T in your usual pub.
I don't think. Yeah, it's
not even a
unlikely.
normal flavour, so it's not even a normal flavour.
No.
Unlikely. Anyway, we've had a great day, haven't we? Finished in Polička. Polička looked absolutely beautiful in the at Christmas.
Yeah.
a lot of people there.
Yeah, absolutely. More stunning than usual, and somehow they've
Yeah.
attracted people there. We're not used to people in Polička.
But usually what we do, guys, is we usually end in the medieval pub, and we went in there today, and unfortunately it was full.
It was full, even though you pleaded with them. We come here every year.
Yeah. I think he just basically shrugged his shoulders.
Basically
Yeah.
told us to F off.
Yeah. So,
Fortunate.
And we tried the hotel pub, which we always go to, didn't we? The
what did you
Polička.
think of that, Steve?
I thought it was, to be honest, terrible, lifeless, depressing. Looked a bit like a funeral parlour.
It felt
And
it.
that was just our table.
Yeah.
So where did we end up? We
We
ended.
know how to make a party swing, don't we? So, yeah, usually, but we were a bit depressed there.
Yeah,
but
we were a
it
bit
just happened.
depressed. And do either of you guys remember the name of the pub that we went to after that?
Strelica.
Strelica.
Yeah.
Okay, that was better.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, lovely service, really friendly service, actually.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I think we could honestly say good Polička.
Excellent, Polička.
Yeah.
Excellent service, I can reiterate that.
Yeah, and we were there earlier this year as well, so twice in a row that pub.
Can I
was a bit
say, I'm
classic.
not sure if it's okay to say this on the pod, but I think the waitress took a shine to Steve.
She definitely did.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
And we had a good night in there anyway.
Yes, we
Some
did.
music finally.
Yeah. Then we left to them playing Simple Minds.
Yeah.
Don't You Forget About Me.
Don't you
And I think that might have been
forget about
like the waitress saying to Steve, Don't you forget about me.
But what's the soundtrack for the evening?
Oh, okay, we're going to finish on the soundtrack. Merry Christmas, everyone. We've had a
Yeah.
great day. Svitavy, Litomyšl and I'll start again.
Okay.
So yeah, we've had a lovely day, haven't we? You know, Svitavy, Litomyšl and
Polička.
Polička. They've been great,
Yeah.
as they always are, and we've had a lovely day. So
Yeah.
I suppose we can end with what's the soundtrack for today? What's the song?
The song for today will be Teardrops. It's called, isn't it?
Yeah.
Teardrops.
Oh, Womack and Womack.
Womack and Womack.
It's been our song of the day. So, Steve, do you want to?
Oh, I thought, Just Like Heaven was the.
No,
more
not just like heaven. Feels like heaven.
Feels like heaven.
Feels
Yeah.
like heaven. Who was it? Fiction Factory.
Fiction Factory.
But our soundtrack of the day is Womack and Womack.
Footsteps on the dance floor reminds me, baby, of you.
No, the soundtrack of the day is Feels Like Heaven.
Okay, well,
All right,
Steve's
okay.
always
Yeah.
contrary.
There you go.
So that's, let's say, Merry Christmas from here at the Blansko Klobasa podcast.
Yeah, Merry Christmas from me as well. We hope you have a lovely festive time with family and friends, and we look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you in 2025. We've got a great first pod lined up.
Big interviews coming up.
Anyway, happy Christmas, everyone,
Merry Christmas from me.
and Merry Christmas from me.
And Merry Christmas from me.
Feels
Ciao.
like heaven.
Ciao.